Bruno, thanks again for joining us. I'm very much looking forward to talking again about fresh perspectives on coaching. Coaching's such an exciting topic, but can you just give me a basic, what's the definition of a coach?
You look very enthusiastic with that topic, no?
I am.
Let's be careful, you know. Let's be careful because we have so many expectations regarding this topic. It seems that somewhere coaching will answer all your key questions in life, you know. The coach is able to help you in answering a few questions, but it's not a panacea. It's not the magic potion maybe that you need or that you ask for. So it's a professional discipline, and like any professional discipline, like counseling, like therapy, like psychology, you are not able to do everything that you would like to do. I would say that coaching it's extremely fulfilling discipline because you are with people, you talk with people, and through the conversation you are able to figure out some solutions for their problems. But it's a good question. I don't know, and I'm not sure that the word coaching is an appropriate one, you know. The other day I went to New York City and I was with my yellow taxi driver, you know. And it was fun because I was behind, I was observing him, and finally I consider it was a perfect analogy with the coach, you know. We are doing the same job. This person was distant enough to let me making my readings in the car. He did not ask me about my life because I did not ask him about his life, but he made me confident and comfortable enough to make sure that he would bring me to my final destination. Obviously, I need to pay a fair price for that. It's always too expensive, but we are always with the same, you know, expectation from certain place to another one, providing me enough security, emotional comfort. We are a taxi driver. Maybe the humility of the taxi driver can be a good point also. We are not a star. I'm not a guru. I'm just a coach, like this driver, you know. But we have other analogies, you know. In the 15th century, you know, when we talked about the buffoon. You remember the buffoon?
Yes.
He had a specific role with the king, you know. He was the only person able to talk to the king, but to tell the things, to speak up, and to laugh sometimes about the king, about the queen. So it was a great privilege. It was a legitimacy that he had. And as a coach, we are also sometimes like buffoons, you know. We can laugh, we can smile, we can contain our emotion, but we will speak up because we have a key role on that respect. And sometimes people ask for more feedback, you know.
Feedback, that's very important.
Is it clear for you, this example?
Oh, definitely, because I think, like you're saying, the coach isn't the end-all answer, which I love that she said that, but that a coach can help to highlight issues or bring truth to the forefront that may have not been before come to the surface. So I think that's so important, and I love that you clarified that the expectation shouldn't be that the coach is this end-all answer. But then what is the objective of coaching?
Certainly, what I can tell you, what's not the objective of coaching. If it's to spend a good time with somebody, you know, and to feel better after that, it's not coaching. Obviously, this process of consulting will make people feel better because they reach some more clarity. They get some better focus in what they do, and they have some first actions to do and some answer to their questions. But it's easier to say what's not coaching. Being a coach, it's not being a gentle person, a nice person with a nice smile all the time, you know. We are not paid to care and only caring the other. Obviously, we need to be extremely careful regarding the emotional frame that we have with our client. but it's just a question of being here and trying to make a journey together. So it's a question of fun too. You know, if you think that coaching it's like some psychiatrist ways, you know, where we are cold and we are distant, it's not the perfect approach for a coach. We need to get collaborative, yes, but decentered at the same time. So I would say coaching, it's about performance first. I think performance, it's a key word for us to make sure that we always recenter regarding the performance of our clients, to speed up the performance, to improve the performance, to ensure performance. I would say for me, it's maybe a main goal.
So performance, obviously, because that's a lot of times why people are coming, is that they see some sort of lack or deficit and are wanting to improve. And these are measurable, tangible goals that can be set to reach in performance.
That's correct. And maybe the client sometimes has a wrong understanding of what coaching is, because we are not only talking about issues or weaknesses that you have. Every client has a strong potential, and we must be able to unleash this potential. We must be able to encourage people in being better person and being stronger professionals. So we equip people with some more competencies, but also we try to align them. It's a key point to get a better performance. There are two other aspects regarding performance. You know, the coaching process will encourage self-correction. What does it mean? Throughout the feedback, we are able to observe some corrective actions. Something that we did not perform well or perfectly well as we expect, we can improve. And we are able as a client to correct by ourselves. We don't need the coach all the time. So it encourages this dynamic of self-correction all the time between the sessions. And the final point that I would like to put on the table today, it's the self-generation. You know, as a human being, we are complex systems, and we are able to use this production of new things. We are self-generating new things. Today, for example, in that interview, I'm pretty sure that new stuff will come out, because we are co-learning together. So let's make sure that the client is aware about that. He will learn new things, he will produce new things by himself.
So I heard you mention feedback. That's part of it, is that you give the client feedback, and sometimes, or you just might point something out and then they correct themselves from that feedback or from that highlighting that bit of information.
Yes, and it's not only the work of the coach to provide feedback to your client. It's encouraging this new flow of feedback surrounding the client, you know, making sure that outside this session, after this session, he will ask his peers, his boss, his colleagues, his family, his social networks, some feedback to improve a few skills and to be part of the system, to feel the system and understanding better the system where he lives.
And then the third point, when you talked about co-learning, there's some sort of, I hate to call it magic, but something that happens when you take not just one person experiencing their life, but you have this taxi driver, as you put it, giving a fresh perspective on things. Something new might emerge from that interaction. Is that really what I hear you saying?
What do you think?
That's what I heard, and I think that that's exciting, and that's why people come, because they're coming for a fresh perspective.
Yeah, it's a fair observation that you did. We have 5 principles in coaching. One is this co-learning, this co-responsibility, this parity. We encourage parity. You know, you have not a boss and an employee. You are not the guru and your adept or your follower. We have the same goal, we have the same intention, the same perspective to reach performance. So we work as partners And this conception must be clarified with the client. You are not using your power because you have some extra knowledge in such a way that it will not empower your client. You must empower your client, your coachee. So it's a first principle. A second principle is relation. Everything starts with a relation and finish with a relation. So we need to understand what the relation is about, which means trust, confidence, respect, and also this freedom of communicate each other. A third principle is we are not dependent with the tools. You know, it's funny because everybody is asking me, you know, I want to follow your training program because I want to learn new tools about. It's not a question of quantity of tools that you will use. It's more a question of identifying the appropriate tool at a certain period of time for your clients. Make it relevant, make it pertinent. Principle of coaching is based on pragmatism. You know, when you are European, it's sometimes difficult to understand what we mean by pragmatism. The root pragmas means in Greek action. It's really a discipline based on action, principle of making concrete, down to earth our activities. It's not only practical, which means we are learning from this dynamic. We are on the flow together. Okay. And like every coach, you know, you can express your vulnerability. There's a fifth principle I don't remember about. What could it be? Can you help me?
Well, coaching also, it's not about, well, you talked about pragmatism. It's not about thinking, but it's about acting, right? And inspiring that person. What about the resources that somebody has? How does that come into play? Is that a part of a principle of maximizing their resources and that are available?
My point is, it's not a question of learning and understanding everything. It's not a question of content. We don't need an encyclopedic knowledge to be a coach. Sometimes you will forget. Sometimes you will learn new things. But this approach and the fact that actually I was not remembering this fifth principle doesn't mean I'm not a good coach. It doesn't mean that I'm nor a good nor a bad one. Just remembering that in this flow of discussion and conversation, let's make your clients breathe a little bit and help you from time to time. Expressing your vulnerability, it's not only helpful, it's necessary to get and reach this valuable partnership together.
Correct, because it's not as much about the content as it is about the context of where somebody's going. That's what I hear you saying. And it's not as much about being an expert and knowing all the tools, but accomplishing the goal. And that's what we've been talking about. And I appreciate you coming here today and talking to us about performance. What is coaching? And I love that this happened in our session because that's exactly what coaching is. It's organic. People think they have to be an expert, but it's organic. And that's just what happened here today. So thank you so much for coming today and talking to us about coaching, what it is, performance, the objectives of coaching, some of the principles of coaching, but we can not have to hold on so tightly to them that we lose sight of what our main goal is. And we'll look forward to speaking to you again next time about some fresh perspectives in coaching.
Terrific. Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.